Have you ever wondered to yourself, what's your purpose in life?
My purpose is to enjoy myself until I pass away.
Okay, when you pass away, do you not think you should? Is that your only purpose, to have fun?
Yes.
Look
My
at.
purpose is to make the best out of life.
Okay, but look, think about it. Yeah, you have animals, cows and sheep and.
Don't start this because I just had a half an hour discussion about fuck it with a vegan guy about why we shouldn't kill a fucking chicken.
No, we can. We are halal, we can eat meat, no problem. The point I'm saying is this: if we look at a cow eats, drinks, sleeps, defecates, and repeats the cycle.
Yeah.
We are greater than animals.
Yeah.
We cannot live like them. So the point is, there has to be a greater purpose to happiness. Happiness. How do you define happiness?
Everyone defines them in their own way. Innit?
Okay, but how old are you?
I'm 18.
18. My name's Ali. What's your name?
Brian.
Brian, nice meeting you. What's your name, mate?
Roman.
Huh?
Come on, hop in this combo. This will be some good shit.
Bob. Okay, so listen, you guys are young. You know there has to be a greater purpose to life.
Nah.
Okay, what's the purpose of this?
To fulfill a need.
Good. So, but the point is the following. As a human being, you are more far in complex in design. Yeah, your body is filled with billions and trillions of bacteria, etc., who have a specific function. How could you tell me those little microscopic bacteria on a nano level has a purpose, but you're here to just have fun? There must be a greater purpose. There has to be a greater purpose.
No, there doesn't.
Of course it does. Your being as a human being, and not only that, this person who made this jacket, would you, if you got this jacket and bought it off the owner, or the one who made it, and you went and put it in fire, would he not come and tell you this is not suitable for fire? It's not designed to be. No, exactly. Good.
Okay.
Good. So the point is this: anything that you buy, most things that you buy, comes with a guide, like how to use it. Good. You as a human being, you need to acknowledge that there has to be a higher being that's created you.
No.
Okay. Where did you come from?
My mother.
Okay. Where did your mom come from?
Her mother.
Okay. And where did her mom come from? It'll go on forever. Exactly. So what I'm saying is, you don't believe in God?
But listen. But then you can apply the same principle to what you just said, with there being a higher level being, but you just reflect the question. Because if I say, where did God come from, right? You'll say he's always been there.
No,
you just reflect.
Not reflect. He has to be all there. Because if you come and say that who created him, then he's not God anymore.
Yes, but when you try and disprove the science...
what science? What science got to do with God?
Wait. If you try and disprove what's the word? Like there's two theories of life, innit? There's God or there's science. If you try and disprove science, right, then the same reasoning you use to disprove science, you can use to disprove God. The thing is with you'll just say, oh yeah, God has to be there the whole time.
I'll bring evidence. Science does not conflict God. Richard Darwin. Yes, you know Darwin, yeah?
Yeah, evolution.
Darwin. Read Darwin's book. Darwin always believed in God. He said, when my faith fluctuated at its highest, I never not believed in God. So he believed in God.
But
Science and God doesn't contradict each other.
Most of scientists believe in God purely for the reason that there was no reason not to believe in God. You don't lose anything for believing in God. That's why they believed in God.
Science and God is not contradictory. Science deals with the observable reality. Science doesn't deal with the metaphysical. So what I'm saying is the following, very simply. You, for example, are you composed of DNA?
Yes.
Okay, what is DNA? DNA is information.
Yeah.
DNA is information, the fact that you look the way you look and the way I look, and the other animals and beings in our world. Okay, that information requires intelligence.
What do you mean by that?
If I give you a book, does the book have information?
Yes.
Information requires an intelligent person that wrote it.
Sure.
Good.
But but the data has always been there.
No. 1 second. Where does the data even come from?
From our parents.
No. I'm talking about from the very beginning. DNA, the first cell we're talking about, a first cell has a nucleus. Okay. Where DNA, there's genes, and there's genome, and there's genes, and inside those genes there are DNA.
Yeah.
DNA has information, meaning the way you look, and the way I look, the way our ears stop here, it's information.
But plants also contain DNA of how they are formed.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is the following. If there is information, there has to be intelligence. Right or wrong? Tell me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
Okay, tell me why I'm wrong.
You're wrong. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just like, you can't tell me, right, that God exists, but evolution is real, because they conflict each other.
No, it doesn't.
Yes,
Darwin is the one who came with the evolution theory. Evolution has got nothing to do with God. You need to understand the following. Evolution doesn't take God out of the picture because it goes back to where did the first cell come from.
Yeah.
The first cell, it either came from something or there can't be anything else. It can't be came from nothing because
it came from algae.
Okay, what is algae?
I don't know how to describe
No, exactly. The first cell is a very complex thing. The first cell, like I said to you before, do you know recent studies show, they talk about the random mutation. There is no random mutation, there is targeted mutation, meaning the cell actually communicates, the cell membrane around it, and there's the nucleus in the middle, which has the genomes and the genes and the DNA. They are listen to me, tube-like systems in place that send information from the membrane to the nucleus. Let me ask you a question. It's the following. Imagine my hand as being the nucleus, and Scotland is where the membrane is of the cell. There is information being sent down to the nucleus. I'll ask you a simple question. There's movement happening. What is telling these it's called tubulins, something like that. Who is telling this information to travel to? One second. We are made out of cells. You are made out of cells. Who is giving this information to these beings, these little creatures, nano level, to travel to the cell?
One second.
Sorry.
Yeah, carry on.
Who is giving the information to these cells to operate in that manner?
You're clearly far more educated than me.
No, it's not education. Look,
it is
I'm not
about
trying to
education.
outsmart you. I'm saying use your logic. You're smart.
I'm not
you
saying
are
you're
smart.
trying to outsmart me. The thing is, if I was far more educated, I'd be able to argue this with a purpose. The fact that I'm not as educated as you,
I promise you are an intelligent man. You don't need to be intelligent.
I'm not saying I'm not intelligent. I'm just saying I'm less educated on the subject itself.
If I went to my little daughter, my daughter would say, all this has to come from somewhere. It's not. Don't say it's about matter of intelligence, because you are a smart, intelligent guy. I'm telling you very simple. Would you accept the following? Can 0 ever equal 1? Nothing. Can ever something come from nothing?
0 can equal 1 if 0 to the power 0 equal 1.
0 is the absence of something.
But 0 is fictional. If you look at mathematics, 0 is not real.
It's abstract. Okay, now, I'm talking to you about nothing. Nothing is the absence of something. There is not a single thing there.
Sure.
How could you get something from nothingness? Impossibility. 0 cannot equal 1. So the point I'm saying is, you don't need to be a genius. If the universe began to exist, which did, if you're going to go by science, they say the universe began to exist. What caused it to begin?
The Big Bang.
No. The Big Bang is the explosion. What caused it to explode?
This is what I'm saying.
There has to be I say,
but yeah, cool.
Which one's more reasonable?
We don't have a fucking clue why the Big Bang came the way it came, right? We also don't have a fucking clue how God came the way he came. You can't tell me he's been there forever, because that just doesn't work around the concept of time. There's no way that God has been there forever.
Infinity, you can.
Yeah, cool.
For God, he can.
But then, if he has been there forever, why did he choose to make Earth when he made Earth? Why didn't he make it like 100,000 years beforehand?
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Okay, you're talking about why God did a certain thing, but it doesn't take God out of the picture. If I come and say to you, what's your name again?
Brian.
I'm going to say I don't believe in Brian, because Brian did something that doesn't make sense to me. Brian doesn't exist.
But you can see me. I'm physically here. You can touch me. You can see me. You can see God.
I can say
God is a fictional being.
I can say I'm in the Matrix.
Believe.
I think I'm in a GTA game, and I think you don't exist.
Cool.
I can go down that route. I can come and say, I don't think you're real. I don't think I'm talking to you. Maybe I'm talking to nothing. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
There is enough proof to suggest that I am real. There is no proof to suggest that God is real.
There is more proof that God exists than you exist. There's more proof. You exist and proof God exists. Yes.
Okay, give me one piece of proof. I can't lie.
Very simple. I'll make it very simple, I talked to you about the DNA.
Yeah.
I said to you, DNA is a molecule that has information.
But you saying that something is very complex does not prove that God exists. That is you stating that is very complex.
No. I'm telling you, for example, let me give you an example, of bacteria.
Yeah.
Bacteria have a tail. It's called a flagella.
Yeah,
okay.
Cool.
Now there's a biologist called Michael Behe. Yes. He looks at the tail. They do a microscopic nano level. When I'm in nano level, you know, on a teaspoon, they can fit 4 billion of those flagella. Now, when they zoom in, they see that the tail has a motor. Do you know what a motor is? Okay, motor. You know that our car has a motor, our electronic toothbrush has a motor. There's many things that have a motor. You know a motor?
I'm not sure.
It's like a mini engine.
A motor.
A motor.
Oh, okay,
pronunciation.
I didn't understand.
Yeah, a motor. Yes. Okay. Now they look and they see that it has 40 parts.
Okay.
Meaning the following: if one part was missing, it will not function. So that flagella, that tail, that propels the bacteria to travel a specific distance. The question is the following: if I showed you an engine of a Ferrari, would you say it's designed?
But you're.
I'm asking a simple
you
question.
said, but listen,
Would you say it's designed?
You've reiterated the same points that you've basically just used the I is too complex multiple times throughout this argument.
I'm just saying to you, if I showed you a Ferrari,
you've used this argument several times. You
and several times you failed to answer.
You telling me that something is too complex, right, does not prove that God exists. It's a fact stating that it is complex.
He's basically making the point that if you see a design, like a motor or like even something like a DNA.
I have to take this. This is the second time he's calling me.
Fine.
Give me 2 seconds.
Saved by the bell.
I'll come back.
No, I'm just kidding.
He's joking.
So basically what he's trying to do is he's saying the process, okay, you're explaining the mechanism to him, but what you need to tell him is that behind everything that you see a design, there is an agent.
I told him that. I didn't even mention complex. I didn't even say the word complex. My issue is that when we look at a motor, if you look at a car engine, it has certain parts in it that make it function the way it does. When we was doing a thing with Sabori yesterday about the flagella. The flagella is basically the tail that propels the bacteria to go. They, on a microscopic level, on a nano level, when you zoom in, it's a flipping motor, bro. Your mind will stop. And the question you ask is the following. If I was to show him that and said, this is something that's made by the Ferrari to propel the Ferrari argument, you'll say that's an intelligent guy, intelligent whatever. But the same thing, and by the way, these bacteria, you can fit 4 billion of them with that flagella on a teaspoon. So the question is, where did that come from? He's like, oh no. But
actually, the example I use normally is the DNA.
Yeah, same. I did the DNA. We went past that.
Yeah, so
we went past the DNA.
DNA is so easy to understand. At the same time, you will have to agree that this is a code.
And
quite a complex code. Not and behind every code, there must be someone who coded it.
Exactly.
You see a program. There must be a program.
No, it's
I got like 5 minutes before my friend comes.
Sorry. So no, in a nutshell, what I was saying is the following. When we was talking about that thing, we're saying that it's composed of 40 pieces.
Yes.
Okay. And it's rev, like you have a car rev, RPM. Okay, it's 20,000. Okay. Meaning the way that it activates, it works. Now the question I'm asking is the following. If I was to show you a Bugatti and I show you the engine, you will come and look at it and be like, that is a phenomenal design made by somebody with a purpose. And when I show you a bacteria...
And it is a fact that it is phenomenally designed, but it doesn't prove that God exists.
Okay, so does the design have a designer?
But this argument has been used so many times. If I was more educated, I'd be able to.
So you have blind faith.
Argue this.
No, but you don't need to. It's logic. Look, when you see a design, for example, you see this design. Somebody made it, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to say it just popped out of existence.
Cool.
So when you see design throughout the universe, including the most microscopic thing like a molecule or an atom, or even like a snowflake.
Cool.
You see, you don't just say that all of this just popped into existence from nowhere.
I'm not saying it popped into existence.
So what is the cause then? What is the cause of all this?
You know what it is? You have blind faith in science.
No.
People say we have blind faith.
Listen. I don't believe in much science. I don't believe in God and religion. I live the way I think life works. Therefore, I'm not saying...
Could you be wrong?
Of course.
Okay, so
that's what we're trying to talk about.
If you don't have trust in your own self...
I'm saying in my reality, God doesn't exist.
Why is that?
I'm not saying that science is 100% right, but I'm saying in my reality, God doesn't exist because that is a far-fetched idea with no proof.
Okay.
Science,
what kind of proof would you require in order to believe that there is a God? Let's see if you have a criteria.
You'd have to prove to me in some aspect.
No, you said there is no proof. So I'm assuming.
No. Yeah, I'm saying there is no proof that God exists.
Bro, let me finish the statement.
Okay, sure. My bad.
When you are looking for a proof, for example, if I asked you, have you lost your key? And if you say yes, you should know at least what the key looks like. Yeah. So you can identify it when you find it. Yeah. Okay. Now, if you were looking for God, what proof would you require to say, okay, now I know that God exists?
Okay, so tell me this. How would you prove that God...
Answer the question, bro.
You
understood the question, right?
I need you to physically show me something that has ties to the idea of God being real.
Okay. When you are looking for something, anything, including God, look, what are you looking for exactly? You need a criteria, right?
I'll give you an example. If Jesus was real at some point in time, that would be proof that God exists because he did miracles. He did miracles which were beyond reality.
So you believe in Jesus?
No. I'm saying,
What's the point of
let me finish. If Jesus was around at this time, that would be enough to convince me. But the fact that Jesus was something that people just
By the way, no
wrote
need to
down.
shout.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I am passionate.
I know.
If Jesus was around at this time, then I'd believe it. But the fact that the things that Jesus did were written down and passed down through word of mouth through thousands of years make me believe that less and less, because you could hear something that I said and misinterpret it within 5 seconds of me saying it. You understand?
Yeah, but,
so
but what I'm saying is I'm talking about a different thing. For example, look.
You're saying what
you believe that you are real, you exist.
Yes.
You believe that the universe is real,
Yeah.
it exists, right? Now, anything that begins to exist
Yeah.
must have a cause.
Yeah.
What is the cause for the universe?
As I said,
Don't say I don't know.
no,
'cause that's not an answer.
But no one knows what the cause of the universe is, as well as.
But
if-
it has to be a
but
cause.
does it have a cause?
But 100%.
Okay.
But we
Could it be the universe
but
itself?
We don't understand science enough to establish a cause. The same way that if I was to ask you what was the cause of God, because the same way you said everything has to have a cause.
Yeah.
What is the cause of God? Where did God come from?
Everything that
Okay,
begins to exist.
I can answer that, no problem.
Cool.
But so let me
answer
get
the question.
I will. You have answered my question or you haven't yet?
What was your question?
What is the cause of the universe?
As I said, we don't have the knowledge to understand the
So
cause
you
of
don't
the
have an
universe.
answer to that. Am I
Yeah.
clear? Okay, now you ask about God. Because the universe began to exist, it must have a cause.
Yep.
God did not begin to exist. God doesn't have a cause. He is the cause.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
No, it doesn't.
Well, which part it doesn't?
But then
logically it does.
But then logically, you could say the universe always existed. It has no cause.
No, because
you could say the exact same
you
thing.
believe in science, right?
Yeah.
The scientists themselves said the universe began to exist 3.8 billion years ago.
Yeah.
So if you believe in science, now you're saying it could have existed forever. But they themselves say that the universe began to exist at 3.8 billion years ago.
But you know what's very interesting?
Okay, so it must have a cause.
But you know what's interesting? You're saying God cannot be forever, but a minute ago you said the universe was always there.
Exactly.
No.
No, he said could have been.
I didn't.
Could have
I
been.
didn't say was. I said could have been. The same way.
Could it be God?
No.
Okay, one second. Look, it could be universe, but it cannot be God.
I believe that
Your God is the universe.
I believe that the idea of a God, of a single creature responsible for everything, is very far-fetched.
Why is that?
But you
Why?
just said a single universe could be there all the time.
No, but I want to know why.
The single
Why?
universe is composed of billions of
Exactly.
things.
Galaxies.
Yeah. Billions of things, which
Exactly.
the more you look into, the more there is. If you look into a universe, you see galaxies, you see planets, you
All
see...
created.
Yes, but if you look at God, it's just one thing.
Why
It's
is
very
it
far
impossible?
fucking-fetched.
Why is it impossible?
If
God is all powerful.
I'm not saying it's impossible, I'm saying it's far-fetched.
No,
That
why
is
is it
what I said
far-fetched?
3 times.
You know what is far-fetched? To believe that the universe did not have a cause. I'm not saying you're saying that, because you agreed it has a cause, right?
It's the biggest
But the thing
magic
is, for you to understand, look, the universe itself couldn't be the cause, right? Because it didn't exist at one point.
I mean, it could be,
Give
but
me something
it's far-fetched
plausible
as well.
Okay, give me something plausible. What
As I
brought
said,
the universe
I'm
into
not,
existence?
I'm not this educated in the subject.
But you seem to
give
be,
an answer.
you seem
logic and
as very
rationality.
confident
Yeah,
that God doesn't exist. But all of a sudden, when asked about the universe, you have no idea.
I'm a very confident person when it comes to something that I know about.
Yeah, but it's emotional.
But
It's not reasoning.
You seem more confident in something
It's
you don't
not
know about
reason, it's
today.
emotional.
You seem more confident about not knowing something. You're
Exactly,
like,
yeah.
I don't know, but you seem very confident.
No, because when there's something where there isn't a definite answer, I am confident that there isn't a definite answer.
There is a definite answer that the universe began to exist. And if it began to exist, a being gave rise to it.
And there's no
It's
definite
simple.
answer that God is real.
There is. No, it is. It's very simple.
No, but you're saying,
If the
look,
universe
you keep
began to
saying that,
exist-
but that is from emotion, not from reasoning.
Yeah. Logically,
You don't have any reason to say why it doesn't exist.
Logically, there is not enough reason. There is not enough proof to back up the fact that
There
it
is actually,
exists.
because the universe, like I said, it is dependent, so it must have a cause. The universe began to exist. Now, what is a plausible explanation from where the universe came from? So one is, people will say that it created itself, but that's impossible because at one point
It's far-fetched. I wouldn't say
No, it's
impossible.
impossible because it didn't exist
Far-fetched.
at one point. So it couldn't have created itself. It's like saying a mother gave birth to herself.
It's like saying
it's as bad
God
as that.
just came about.
No. It's as bad as saying, listen to this. It's as bad as saying a mother gave birth to herself. Okay?
Okay.
That is not only far-fetched, that's impossible. It's illogical. Do you agree?
Respectfully, yeah, we can just agree to disagree.
No, this is impossible.
We can
A
genuinely
mother-
just agree
Okay,
to
so you-
disagree. You have different opinions.
So you
I have different
disagree-
opinions.
wait.
We can argue about this
Hold
all
on.
night.
Do you disagree that the mother gave birth to herself? Or do you agree with
Do you
that?
believe a mother can give birth to herself?
No.
Exactly, so we are in agreement. Don't say we agree to disagree. We agree to agree here.
About this one point, sure, but I'm saying in the grand scheme of things, whether God is real or whether the universe or whether there's a scientific backing.
It's trying to break it down for you.
It doesn't need to have a scientific backing because science is limited. I'll tell you why.
And God isn't limited.
God is not limited, unlike science.
Can I just ask one question?
Yeah.
How do you know your mother's your mother?
She gave birth to me.
How do you know that?
No. Let's go with science.
How do you know that?
How do you know your mother gave birth to you?
DNA.
Have you done it?
Have you done it?
I
could do it and
Have you done it though?
I could do it and prove it.
So you have faith now that your mother is your mother without
You
no
believed
evidence.
it without proof.
The same with me. Look, the same with me. I'm not trying to be funny.
But no. But you see the difference
Testimony.
between. But the difference between that is I have faith because there is backing. Where if
what backing? What evidence?
Listen. If I wanted to prove it, I could go do a DNA
but at
test.
this moment in time, you don't.
I could prove
have
it.
You?
But I could.
But have you?
But at this point, it's by faith.
Okay. At this moment, do you believe your mother's your mother or not?
Let me finish, okay? Yeah. Because I could prove it, I have faith because I know that if I wanted to, I could prove it. The fact that God exists, I could have faith that God exists, but because I can't prove it, I'm not going to believe in it.
So do you have faith now your mother's your mother or you know for certain? You have faith, you have no evidence. So if I come and say to you, scientifically, at this stage of time, your mother is not your mother until proven otherwise.
I do a DNA test.
But can I agree and say that your mother is not your mother at this moment in time until you bring a scientific evidence?
No. No, because there's eyewitnesses.
You just went against science.
Also,
there's other ways of proving it.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Cool.
There is other ways of proving something.
Cool.
Good, that's what I'm saying. And testimony is one of those. That's what I was trying to get at.
Ali, I want to ask him something. Yeah. You keep saying there's no proof for God.
Yeah.
Yet you have no idea what proof you're seeking. Am I right?
To an extent.
So how can you
as
say...
As I said, if I saw
how can you say there's no proof when you don't know what the proof is?
If I saw something live in the flesh, I'm not saying that there's an agenda to...
Oh, you need empirical evidence. Is that what he's saying?
You
want to see it?
I need physical proof.
It's called empirical evidence.
Sure.
So you require empirical evidence for God. Let me ask you this. Do you have empirical evidence that you have consciousness?
I guess not.
Thank you. I'll rest my case.
Sure, but there's also empirical evidence that we can't...
But you believe you have consciousness
that's the point.
without empirical evidence. But when it comes to God, you require empirical evidence.
You see
why the double standards?
So what we're saying is you're conscious and you cannot touch, smell, taste, feel, or hear it. Okay, so you know what we're trying to just do, guys, here today is just to make him understand, get the engine revving a bit. That's what it is, you know, and you can see very clearly, sometimes it's emotional, sometimes it can be a trauma, whatever it is, but logically and rationally, there is no sense being made. There is no sense being made at the moment.
I mean,
but in the meantime, guys, please donate, inshallah. We are raising funds, inshallah. Please donate whatever you can, brothers and sisters.
Yeah, inshallah.
But yeah, alhamdulillah, it's going good so far, alhamdulillah. Yeah.
So the thing is, he keeps saying that there is no evidence. There's no evidence for God. But the guy has no clue what evidence he's seeking. And at the end, he did say at least, he admitted that it requires empirical evidence. But the thing is, you don't have empirical evidence for your own consciousness. Why? Because his consciousness is from metaphysics, from a metaphysical realm. It's not something which is physical.
On that point, why is it important?
So I gotta go.
Yeah, it's nice talking to you, man.
Yeah, as I said, we can agree to disagree.
By the way, do you know that your consciousness is metaphysical, not physical?
I don't know what you mean by metaphysical.
Like it's not you can't touch
means you can't examine it in a lab under a microscope.
Fair enough.
But you believe it anyway by faith.
Sure.
So you're not different to us. Thank you very much.
Take care.
Finally, we
Okay.
agree.